Iron Supporting Food Banks collects food and cash donations for needy families in Newham Borough and beyond. Please consider making a donation via their Just Giving page, the link for which you will find in the description section of this stream. Come on, you Irons!
West Ham are massive, everywhere we go. West Ham are massive, everywhere we go. Everywhere we go. West Ham are massive, everywhere we go. West Ham are massive, everywhere we go.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the West Ham Massive. Thanks for joining us. Please don't forget to like, comment on and share this stream to your socials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you are new around here. And don't forget to hit the bell icon for alerts of new content. All these things that you can do take a couple of seconds of your time. They're completely free of charge. They help to grow the channel into something bigger and better. Thanks for your support. Right, we are here to discuss Premier League Match Day 12 of 38, where we made 3,024, I think it is, made the trip north to St James's Park in a game we couldn't win, possibly, and we did just that. Nobody saw that coming. I don't care who you are. Nobody really saw that coming, or very few people, let's put it that way. I certainly didn't. I'll be brutally honest. Hands up, bank of rights. I did not see that result coming at all. Not only did I not see that result coming, I didn't see that performance coming. It was superb. We were everything we haven't been this season in the previous 11 Premier League games, plus the 2 games in the League Cup, etc. Everything that we weren't in those games, we were in this. Do you know what I mean? We looked like a team. We looked like a team that actually, despite all of the stuff that we've been through, actually had a little bit of belief about themselves. It's really quite strange. And I don't know where that belief has come from. I don't know where that belief has been hiding all season. It definitely hasn't been there up till yesterday. That was a complete performance. Start to finish, we controlled them. And I struggle to sort of like say we dominated them. But then I sort of like think to myself, well, actually, we won 2-0, and actually, we could have won by more. We had other opportunities to go 3-0. We had opportunities to get a third goal, make no mistake. And going to Newcastle is no easy feat. Going to the St James's Park, and especially the scheduling. Let's get that out of the way. The scheduling was absolutely atrocious. I don't know whether that was the Premier League. I don't know if that was Sky Sports. I'm not quite sure who made that call to have that as an 8 o'clock kickoff on a Monday evening. An absolutely ridiculous decision that showed no consideration, no respect to the travelling supporters. And I'm so glad that those 3,024 people that made that journey has had to take 2 days off of work in the main to travel to Newcastle. And the last train that would have come back to London wouldn't have left until approximately half time. So you're going to be staying in a hotel or maybe making a trip through the night. But, you know, given if you've probably driven up there sort of like 5 hours or whatever, good God, that's a mission. I mean, I wouldn't want to do that. Absolutely ridiculous. But hats off to all of you guys that made that journey. You know, I went to St James's Park 2 seasons ago. We got a 1-1 draw. And that was and we had to stay in a hotel. We drove up there early on the Saturday morning, stayed overnight in the Sunday. We come back the following day. But that was a mission. Honestly, just ridiculous. I'm going to sort of like put the various bits of information on Sicker. Have a little look for that. I'm also going to add this, and I'll just press button. Normally, I have a little presentation. Those of you that are regulars know that I normally have a little presentation that I sort of like have running in the background. I'll be perfectly honest with you. The game finished late last night. I had to be up silly o'clock this morning. I've not long just got back from work, in all honesty. I'm going to be out at silly o'clock tomorrow morning. So I'm just going to have to sort of like put this up. And here's a little thing, because there was a lot of people that were telling me when we did the preview, and I turned around and said that I was looking at this resource. It's a website called Who Scored, and they had that Edson Alvarez was not going to be available for the game at Newcastle, and I got a lot of people that were telling me in nice ways, not sort of jumping up and down or anything like that, but people were telling me that I was wrong or the resource was wrong, whatever, and that Edson Alvarez was going to be available for the game yesterday. And then what happened? It then appeared that I was correct, the information I was reading was correct, and a lot of other people had got it wrong, and actually Edson Alvarez was not going to be available. When that was confirmed, I thought, well, there you go. That told me what I already thought was the case, and has probably just made it even more difficult. But do you know what? When I saw that starting lineup, and I couldn't work out whether it was going to be a 4-1-4-1, a 4-2-3-1, a 4-3-3, whatever, it ended up being, according to Sky Sports, a 4-3-3. And I looked at it and I went, goalkeeper and back four pick themselves. 100%, no problem. Done. Jared Bowen picks himself. Crysencio Somerville, I think, on current form, picks himself. Then the rest of them are probably things that a lot of people would argue about. Stochek I would have in, but I know a lot of people would say no. Antonio I would question. Paqueta I would question. Soler I would question. This is all before a ball was kicked. The selections I would question. I got to say, every single one of them played their part. Even the substitutes that were introduced, Guido Rodriguez, Andy Irving, Vladimir Kufal, players like that were introduced in the game, all came on and put their shoulder to the wheel and really sort of like pushed us home. Everybody played their part. And like I say, we was good value for it. I mean, Thomas Souček puts us 1-0 up, 10 minutes into the game? You know, where was his marker? Who cares, quite frankly? Rises like a salmon, gets his head to a ball, powerfully steers it past Nick Pope, 1-0. And like I say, I thought we was good value for it. I thought, like I say, Paqueta, the game that he had yesterday, I've seen a lot of things that have been out in the public domain that sort of like say his passing stats and his this and his that, and he was rated very highly for, if not the top player in all of these different metrics that was highlighted. And yeah, I got to say, the performance proved me wrong. The selection, the manager got it spot on. The tactics were spot on. I've heard Eddie Howe come out and, you know, in one breath, he's turning around and saying, I don't want to say it's an excuse, but the international break hasn't helped us. Well, if you're not saying it's an excuse, why even bring it up, quite honestly? Really sort of like a really quality performance. Wan-Bissaka gets the second goal in the 53rd minute. And I thought he had a cracking game as well, although he did have one little slip up in the first half, as did Todibo. They both had a couple of little defensive lapses in the first half that on another day, the chance might have sort of been snapped up by the opposition, and then it's a different game. But sometimes in football, you need a little bit of luck. It's in the Premier League, away from home. In those circumstances, our backs are against the wall. Sometimes you just need a little slice of luck, and we got away with it on those two occasions that the opposition couldn't capitalize. But those two aside, really, I don't think that we were struggling at any real point. I think we had the game under control pretty much exclusively for 90 minutes, more or less. Managers proved, like I say, the manager proved me wrong. I'm pleased to say. Now, obviously, then the attention turns to the Arsenal game, and you're then going to sort of say, well, you know, the only way that we're really going to sort of like benefit from the performance against Newcastle is if we can follow it up against Arsenal. And even if it's not a win or even a draw, even if we lose, I've said this on a fan cam I did for Hammers Chat that went out earlier. If you haven't seen it, go and have a look on the Hammers Chat forum channel, the one that Gonzo normally pops up on with his daily videos. I did a fan cam on there, and you know, I turned around and said that if we lost 2-1 against Arsenal, which is not inconceivable, but we put in a performance like what we did yesterday, where we look like we're all on the same page, we're all pulling in the same direction, all the players know what their roles are, they're all executing it, and we just beat them by a better team on the day, which, let's be honest, player for player, you'd have to say Arsenal are. But if we lost 2-1 and we had that sort of performance like what we had yesterday, do you know what? Before the game against Newcastle, I was pretty certain that Lopetegui was going and that it was probably going to be the right decision. I now sort of like would sit there and go, wait just a moment. Let's not throw the baby out with the bathwater. Maybe the messaging, I get the feeling that certain elements of his strategy, certain elements of his ethos, the way he wants to play football, haven't up to this point been fully transferred over to the team. Now, whether he's managed to do it by hook or by crook, some way, somehow, with the players in the international break that offered him a chance to have a reset, I don't know. But do you know what? I think maybe we might need to just give him a little bit more time. Now, I know that time is not a commodity that is normally in ready supply in the Premier League, but maybe we need to, just on this occasion, just hold fire. Just let's calm down. Let's let the situation breathe and reevaluate. If we get smashed against Arsenal, different thing entirely. Maybe that was an oasis in the desert, the performance against Newcastle, or maybe there are bigger problems at play here. But I think, as I say, if we can go and play Arsenal, and if not get the result, but at least get a performance that's similar to what we saw yesterday, I might be prepared to give him a little bit more time. It's not infinite, and it's a results-based business, but perhaps that might be the way that I might want to go. As far as our star player was concerned, I listen, it's difficult because I don't think there was any player yesterday that let the side down. Soler came in. I had my doubts about him. He proved me wrong. Paqueta, he played yesterday. I had my doubts as to whether he should have been involved. He proved me wrong. Even Antonio, who I've been quite a vocal critic of, I think he did a grand job. I do think that he still has this propensity to drop a little bit too deep. He was closer to the central midfielders a lot of the time than he was to the central defenders, and that is something that frustrates me. Bowen, I thought, looked busy. I thought, as I say, Souček, obviously, that little stat that's going along the bottom is quite impressive, where he's got more top-flight goals than, obviously, Jared Bowen and Michail Antonio. Yeah, I mean, it's just really sort of like really impressive stuff. And as I say, I would probably, I'm torn between Paqueta and Wan-Bissaka. I'm probably going to just lean towards Paqueta simply because he's been in such rank bad form that I think that performance just came out of nowhere. And I'm probably going to give it to him. But Wan-Bissaka had an absolutely brilliant game. Now, I would say, one of the questions that I normally ask is, was it a fair reflection of the final score on how the match panned out? And I'm going to say no, because I actually think we could have won that game 3-0, and that wouldn't have actually been an unfair reflection. So maybe a 2-0 win possibly is a little bit letting them off lightly. But do you know what? I'm going to take it. Away from home, clean sheet, difficult situation. Tough place to go, Newcastle, under the lights. 3,000 people have made the journey. It's a mammoth task that they've undertaken. But yeah, they've done really well. I think that possibly if we'd won 3-0, I don't think that there could have been too many complaints. But that's it from me. I mean, I've just sort of like, this is just a short, sharp one from me. Normally I go into a little bit more detail. I normally have a presentation. I'm just going to have a little look. I can see obviously some comments. Ken, I know you made the trip. That is brilliant. And he can remember 0-2 being a Monday night game versus Newcastle. That was the season that we went down under Roder, wasn't it? Didn't we get stuffed 4-0? Or is that a different one that I'm thinking of? Colin's happy as well. Worked very hard. Yeah, there was a stat that I saw that in terms of the distance that we covered as a team, it's the second most that's been covered by any team in the Premier League since the beginning of this season. And, I think that's clear for all to see. Listen, Epic, I do. Hands up. I think a lot of people do. I don't think I was a lone voice in the wilderness that was sort of like saying that Lopetegui might have a problem. But it was great. and I look, say I don't want to kick managers out left, right, and centre. That's not what I want to do. I have to say that I think that he has struggled to get his message across, but I'm now beginning to wonder: has the penny finally dropped? Has he managed to get the message over to his players? And if that's the case, fine, not a problem. Jay, hope you're well. Yeah, absolutely. The fans did absolutely tremendously. You know, like I say, 3,024, brilliant, fantastic. My daughter's in there. Hello, my beautiful baby girl. I used to change her nappy when she was little. She's not so little now. She's 17 years of age, so she's probably sitting over there, and she's probably scowling at that comment. David, hope you're well. Yeah, exactly. We played as a team. We played with purpose. We played with a plan. You know, it was good. It was really, really good. And yes, you're right, Jay. You've got to give the manager credit. I did think he looked like he'd been dragged through a hedge backwards. I did think he looked a little bit unkempt, and he wasn't clean shaven as I usually see him. He looked like he hasn't had a moment's kip since the sort of like not the transfer window, the international break sort of kicked in. Yeah, absolutely. You know, one swallow does not a summer make. I'm always sort of like mindful of that old saying, but like I say, let's see how it goes in the next game. Let's let it breathe, as they say. But let's wait and see. Sonny, hope you are well. We've got another game before Kudus is back. We don't know what might happen. Yeah, I mean that's true. You know, we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see what happens. Fred's in there. Really hope we beat the arse. They're giving it the spuds already. Yeah, you know what they're like, mate. That was the first game of the season. Yeah, I remember David James was in goal, wasn't he? I'm sure it was a 4-0. That wasn't good. And then we went, obviously went and got relegated that season, didn't we? So, but there you go. Listen, magnificent performance from the boys yesterday. I'm so pleased. I'm glad that Lopetegui has proved a lot of people wrong, myself included, and I'm going to hold my hands up to that one, but I don't think I'm the only one. And hopefully, yes, it was words and pictures. You're absolutely correct in that. It was absolutely brilliant. Came from nowhere. Didn't see it coming, but yeah, brilliant. Anyway, I'm going to wrap it up there, guys. I'll see you next time. And thanks for joining us. Don't forget to give your support to the Iron Supporting Food Bank charity. And please don't forget to like, comment on and share this stream to your socials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you're new around here. And don't forget to hit the bell icon for alerts of new content. And as always, remember, guys, these actions you can take a couple of seconds of your time. They're completely free of charge and they help to grow the channel into something bigger and better. Talking of something bigger and better, don't forget to give your support to the Iron Supporting Food Bank charity. Let's try and help some people in the local community to East London and Essex. Come on, you Irons. We'll see you next time. Take care.
Iron Supporting Food Banks collects food and cash donations for needy families in Newham Borough and beyond. Please consider making a donation via their Just Giving page, the link for which you will find in the description section of this stream. Come on, you Irons.